fortitude to endure whatever shows up in our reality, because that's life. Life can be very, very hard and challenging, and it's how we show up, it's who we be through the process of life that we're either in our power or we're giving our power away. So just making that choice or that intention every day to be who we choose to be through whatever adversity may present itself. It's an opportunity. And we're alive. Hey, we're alive. Yep. We're not 6 feet under yet. So while we're here, why not trust the process? Why not embrace that fortitude, go through the adversity, create an identity of a tenacious, powerful creator, and be it today, and bring our hearts into this day and love on people. We don't have to hang our heads down low when adversity presents itself. We can hold our heads high with hearts full of love and make wise decisions. Just do whatever is the right and in the highest good of all. And be a giver. Generously show up in our heart with love, knowing that things will work out when we come from this space. And I'm complete.
And the more we give to ourselves also. We create new possibilities.
And we contribute to the planet.
Yep.
Thank you, Will. It's authentic leadership, authentic guidance, authentic words.
My heart, man. I get to be it today. I get to share this one little point of consciousness that I am. I get to be it. I get to generate love, freedom, and authenticity in the world today by being authentically who I am and showing up in every moment.
The more we share of ourselves shows the more we care for the world. Doesn't mean that we become less by sharing. We actually become more.
Tribute.
Because other people get to see us in themselves or see themselves in us. So we create a new reflection in the world. reflection of love, caring, helpfulness, and all those great positive words that are expansive.
There's a never-ending well inside each one of us that we can draw from and give and fill others' cups. And it's complete abundance. And when we draw up from that well inside our hearts and we freely give it, it not only makes the world a better place, but it also returns, and not that we are giving it with expectation of receiving. We're generously giving of our heart because it's who we were born to be. And then we see ourselves and others. There I am. There you are. And the connections open up. The path reveals itself. The world transforms just a little bit today. When the walls come down around our heart and we get clarity and awareness and keep drawing from that well and giving it to others. We begin to fill the cup of the world, of humanity. Because you are me and I am you. We just forgot.
Yeah, we are all one. We are just in separate bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, forgot that we have the choice. Forgot there is a choice. So what drives, shapes, produces our choice? What's behind, what's before choice? How does your choice process work?
There are so many different kinds of choices.
I would say, in answer to your question, it comes from a heart full of love. So that's who I am. And when I give that freely in my ways of being, how I show up, how I give to others and fill their cups, it fills my cup. And it guides my choices each day with that intention behind it.
So it's like we said earlier, it's about intention, perspective, and all those things, dreams and whatever, are mixed into it, all in the best of all mankind, not just best for oneself.
What I notice too is when you and I, when we're in our heart, we see past people's masks. We see past we see past their blocks. We see past their wounds, their limiting beliefs. We see when we are authentically our true self, when we are in our heart, when we're showing up as superconscious. We see that in others. We see past it all, and we just see their true creative potential and who they really are. That secret power that resides within us all.
I was off for a bit there. Are you guys just quiet?
No. We've been talking.
Yeah. You can check out the replay if you like.
Well, there we go. I just got you back.
All right, cool.
Nice to be back.
Authentic choice, Will. So like authentic choice.
And the power behind it.
Yeah, if I'm not showing up in love, freedom, and authenticity, if I'm showing up in my wounds, that is doing a disservice to myself and others and to humanity. So each day is an opportunity now to be it, to reflect that possibility to the world, to others, to embrace it. And I still get caught up in the wounding every now and then. And then I come back and I realize, wait a sec, that's just the pain of the past. That's just a memory trace. It's just a memory structure in my brain. It's not who I am. My true self is love, freedom, and authenticity. When I be that, I reflect it, I share it, I give it freely in the world, and it reflects it back to me in the faces of people, in the smiles, in the beauty of nature and creation, the stars. I see it everywhere because I'm also creating that by viewing the world and everything, all existence through that lens. Pure possibility and potential.
Don't know if you guys often get like this 2-3 times a day, maybe 2-3 minutes, 2-3 times a day. I feel sad, missing, and all those, but it's all related to the past. And then afterwards, I think, whoa, now I really get to appreciate what I actually have now. It doesn't mean that it brought my wife back or anything. It's just that I become present again.
Find some sorry for your loss, Science.
Oh, I've lost a lot, but I don't really think about it. I always say, like, I didn't get to raise my children, but when I see them, they're happy happy grown, grown now, even 17 and 19. So that's the most important thing to me, that it is that they're happy, but it doesn't mean that in the past I didn't lose them. And I lost she was my ex-wife at the time, but I lost her a month after I lost my mother. But as I see it, life wasn't that great for them, so maybe they have it better where they are now. It's not that it would give me joy to know that my wife was still living and having a miserable life. So I don't ever think about loss, and I rarely take anything personal. You gotta go really deep beneath my skin if you gotta make me feel anything personal, because I know humans are humans. And whenever they say something, it's normally because they have a personal problem. And I often ask, what can I do to help them get through that? Or they wouldn't say anything to me because that's the normal, that you don't say anything unless you have a problem. And if you have a problem and you try to push it onto somebody, I don't want to be pushed onto, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to be of service to them. Like a duck in water, just washes right off. And I offer them my service. I've done enough fighting with the system. Once with Norway and once with Denmark, that's more than enough. The fight with them is just stupidity, because they don't even have a will of their own, because they have to follow a law that is written by somebody hundreds of years ago or something, and rewritten I don't know how many times during one's lifetime, because every time a new government comes, somebody rewrites that law with 2 or 3 new words, so it just becomes even more watered out. I know it's nothing personal they have against me. They're just following rules and regulations. They are limited.
Following the past rather than creating what we want.
Yep. And their emotions are not something they're allowed to even use.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what a life like that must be like. Always doubting other people, always seeing the worst in people, because that's what the rule book tells you to do. It doesn't tell you, wow, look at that glimmer he has in his eye. That must be something that we could really build on.
But like you said, each of us, we can encourage that. We can foster that. We can blow on that flame. And as we do it, then that builds and spills over to everything.
I think that's one of the reasons I was here. It was to make change within the system, because I am, what they say, way too truthful. I will not stand back and be lied to, but if people tell me the truth, I can handle whatever they're saying. Because it's normally based on what the system wrote, but don't try to push it down my throat with a lie. Just tell me as it is. I would much rather like a truth that is hurtful than somebody trying to lie to me so they think they'll make me smile.
I just shared a photo in the group chat. And this is the opportunity we have every day, really, to remember that we're also creating it. And we could be 100% responsible for what we create today.
I like the circle one. Life happens to me.
And
that's what I see life at.
What was that?
When other people do things to you, it's just life happening. It's an experience. It's not like it's a definition of who we are, anything. It's just how they've experienced me. what they think about me, and I can't control anybody's thoughts. I can control my own a little bit, but also only a little bit, because as soon as we dream, the thoughts are all over the place.
Okay. I get to serve my clients now, so I'm going to bow out and wish you guys a wonderful day.
Have a pleasant day, Will.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Will. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Always a pleasure, Will. Because every day is a new day, a new path, new past, a new future.
Filled with a lot of possibility for a lot of expansion.
Yeah, that reminds me of something. I found it's valuable for me to spend a little time every day just reframing the past.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even just a little bit. You know, like seeing some kind of benefit in something that happened that was painful, that was perceived as painful in the experience of it, right?
That's how we really get to learn more from it.
Yeah, you don't have to dwell on it. You don't have to dwell on it, but just you know, just see a benefit of some kind, see a gem, see a gift, see something like that, and you know, contemplate it as such. Mm.
And it doesn't have to be just one thing to see it as.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Because as
See
you
it as an
contemplate it, it gets
array.
rich. Yeah, it gets
That's
rich.
right. Because like what I've noticed from my mechanic is that when I'm going through it, I really can I only work through it one way. Like there's only one way I see it in the moment, especially under pressure or a stressful, right? And so it's like then, like you said, to look back at it, reframe it, which means give it different possibilities, look at it from different perspectives, and not dwell in it, like you said, or not be trapped in it, but not be sucked into it, but to see all the other ways, all the things that maybe we missed.
Ah. Yeah, there's a good one. Did I miss something? That's a good question. Did I miss something here?
It's when we are facing it, it's head on. And when we are through with it, we can look from it from the side, from the back, from below, from above. But when we're in it, we have to face it head on.
Mm-hmm. And just like we can go backwards and reframe, we can go forward and reframe and review, dream, anticipate, create it, so that when we come into it, we have a sense of where to go with it. And man, is it never anything like I can imagine it to come up with, or do I ever imagine that it turns out the way that I planned it, wanted it, or structured it? But it's like when you're in it or afterwards, Craig, as you reframe, it's like, oh, there it is. That was it. It just wasn't the way that I was expecting it.
Yeah, like when it was happening, I thought it was something else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And there's, as I create it, intended, as I look forward and bring it in, as it arrives, it's like, oh, that was not how I thought it would show up.
Sort of like mining. When we are digging, we can't see all the beauty within, but when we put it on a, what's it called, a siffle or whatever, and start to separate
out.
everything, yeah, then we get to see the beauty within the earth.
What happens if you don't dig and you're a miner?
Then there's nothing to see. Just the ground.
You don't, exactly. Right? You don't get nothing. You better be doing something else. You're not a miner. And I said, damn it, you got to be mining if you're a miner. There's the B, yeah. But then the identity, right? And it's like, oh, you're only a miner. It doesn't have to be that easy.
Broke at the window. Oh, really? Yeah, somebody. That's right.
So revisiting the past is sort of like mining,
Yeah.
while the doing it is sort of like digging.
Yes, and it can be, you know, and the being is like the emotional around how we're engaged with it, how we're doing it. It's like a miner loves it, right? Usually, like they're passionate, they stick with it. So it's like we do it with curiosity, with wonder of what will we discover next?
And we're not even done once we found the precious metal within the earth, in a sort of saying, but we have to work with it then to create a gold bar, create a silver bar, or separate the different materials from each other and get a new perspective of it.
And Start all over again.
Then we can start to create sculptures or whatever from it.
You know,
All about the choices, what we want to do with it.
what we could do with it. Could. I love that could in our choice.
Yeah, it's become one of my favorite words. Could. And I just happened to look up at the sky this morning. I can't believe I can actually see this because I'm in Oregon where it's always overcast, but I'm looking east and there's a crescent moon that's kind of pointing towards Venus.
Wow.
About 40 degrees above the horizon right now. Pretty awesome. It's almost 6 a.m. here, Heinz.
Early morning.
Yeah, sun hasn't quite come up yet.
I just looked outside the window and I can actually see a little blue sky now with a lot of gray between, but the blue is there. So tonight I'll be able to look at some stars.
Yeah. Wow, is it ever weird being back here? Oh man, it's weird.
With all the familiar smells in the air.
Yep, yep, yep. And the bite of 85% humidity at 50 degrees, plus 10 Celsius for you, Heinz. You know, it just hit me. You know, I lived here 17 years and it was never home. It was never home.
but what's it called? The feeling of the weather is homely.
Yeah, well, because it's familiar,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah, exactly. But what's interesting is, that whole idea of home. I've really found a home inside my own heart.
Yeah.
And being away for a year just proved that to me. It's kind of like, you take your home with you. And I never realized that. I might not need a place to hang my hat. I might not need that.
That's probably why they wrote home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
And the rest is just familiarity, familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, my life is much bigger than me. Way, way bigger than me.
And it's being shown to you by not having so much cloud, so you can actually see the things that you sense as much bigger than you.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I said earlier about reframing, about looking back and and contemplating the gifts in the experience that we're having. What's interesting is here I am today and I'm doing it right now. I'm considering the gifts that's right in this moment right now.
Being present.
Yeah. And that's pretty sweet. Morning. Yeah, yesterday was a really fruitful day for me, and I only did two major things, but um, it was like the timing was perfect. It unfolded just wonderfully, and it was very encouraging. As it happened.
Coming in touch with the outside world again.
Yeah, in a really weird way. That too. Like even just being here and spending the night at a men's shelter. Wow.
Shows that other people actually care for one. That
Yeah,
that will
yeah,
do that.
yeah. But not just that. I consider the other residents here that I met, and it's you know they're they're not unlike everybody else out there.
Exactly. They're
Kind of
humans.
just drifting around in the dark.
And then you get in there to shine a light on everybody.
Well, yeah, yeah. The light is coming, and I know I'm one of the few people out there that actually sees it, right? And wants it. I've been anticipating this kind of light showing up throughout my whole life, and now it's happening.
And it's funny when we anticipate for it to show up, it actually comes to ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
So we get to be the light ourselves.
Yeah, and that's one of the gifts that really grounds me, the gift of anticipation. It's like receiving and interacting with a really broad vision that shows up and anticipating its fulfillment.
That is saying be it to see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, because the vision is
most
fulfilled in me first, right?
Mhm.
Because I'm the one that's in touch with and interacting with the vision, right? I'm the one that's receiving the vision. Yeah.
With your vision, your vision. And everyone has the potential, the capability, the ability for their vision. But too often our structures informs us to see it before we be it. Which
Yeah.
means we're looking for the validation before we'll be it. And we don't realize how backwards that is.
Ooh, that's good, Jesse. Yeah, yeah.
I'll be it when I am it, when I see it. That just is an unresolvable loop. It doesn't work. How could you have it before you could be it? It's like having gold without digging, without being a miner or digging for it. It's like finding a gold
Yeah.
nugget without looking for it.
Yeah.
But how often do we dream about having a gold nugget or whatever you want to call it, but not doing the work for it, not mining for it?
There's so many people who says, "Oh, I want the world to change," and then you ask them, "What do you want to change about yourself?" Nothing.
Yeah.
How can you expect the world to change when you won't even put in the work to change it?
Mm-hmm.
You got to lead by being the good example to yourself.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's everyone else is broken, not me. I'm just right. I'm perfect. And then when we look at ourselves, we know that that's not true, yet we still can act that way. And when I have fill in your blank, when I have, then I'll be.
Yeah.
When I have what, then you'll be what. All that says that is our structure that says when I have some material thing, when I get something from out there that I think I'm supposed to have, then I'm going to have the emotion, the feeling. Then I'll be happy, is what most people put in there.
And most people don't even know what it is they want. And so how do they know when they get it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you don't.
You don't get it. Exactly. You get it, and then you're like, oh, well, now what? Let me go do that again, because that wasn't good enough. It was empty. Didn't produce what I thought it was going to produce. And so I have to keep going. Yes, we do have to keep going.
Yeah, how would Edison ever have created the light bulb without have created the failed experiment 1,000 times?
That's right. 1,000 ways that it won't work.
Yep. Or 1,000 ways that wasn't the one he was looking for.
That's right. It's a very powerful concept. So simple, but powerful. Be it, and being is it's like almost like a emotion and energy. And we're either being, the best I can tell, we're either being expansive or we're being constricted, constricting, being expanded or limited. And whatever that being, whether you're being limited, then what you will see is limited. What you'll experience is limited. What you'll have is limited. If you're expanding, expansive, then you'll see expansion, expansive. You'll see opportunity. You'll see potential. And it's that reframing, like you said, Craig.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, I'm learning to do that in real time.
Mhm.
I'm learning to see it as it happens.
That's right.
What a gift that is, hey?
Oh, man, how expansively free that is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how we get to create. They couldn't have created fire without seeing the possibility within a spark. The spark is very short-lived, but if you add it to the right material, it'll create fire.
Yeah. Well, you can't have the fire without the spark either.
Nope.
Just look at the structure of that. We call it the fire triangle, right? Structure. It's a structure. It needs these three things to exist: ignition, air, and source, fuel source.
Yeah.
Take one of away, it's now smoke.
Right. You got no air, you got no fire either.
Mhm. Too much, it'll go out. Too wet, it'll go out. Too dry, it'll burn too fast.
Yeah. And it depends what stage the fire's in too.
Mhm. Well, now we have different stages of fire. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Blacksmith uses bellows to blow air on it and heat it up.
Mhm.
Wow, that's cool.
All the different organizations that structures can take, can make possible. It's like all the parts of a bicycle. They're all structures that are organized into what we call a bicycle. Take them apart, separate structures. It's not a bicycle.
Yeah.
Good one. And have someone else put it together, then it might not even, it might become a windmill.
The organization of the structures that all have a state, right? They all have a condition. There's a new bicycle and there's an old bicycle.
Morning.
So a new
Well,
word for me today. New word for me today is creative.
yeah,
Focus I'll be working for today is creativity, creation. Define it, demonstrate it, be it, seduce it, compel it. Through fortitude, as a fortitude unfolds through creation. Creativity, it is a word that gets tossed around with no real meaning behind it.
yeah, yeah. You know, I've been out walking in the parking lot of this place while we've been on this call, and it's amazing the number of creative ideas that have popped into my head just as I, you know, going around here. Like what to do next, who to talk to, you know, those kinds of things.
You know, and it's not about it's not about like in that moment resolving the answer or getting the answer. It's
No,
just like, oh, it's opening the can to be like, oh, okay, what about it?
exactly. It is opening the can. That's a really good analogy. Yeah. Is it what could be? What
And
what
then
could
it's like,
be here?
oh, you know, and then it's like, what is like, what are all of these questions have in common? Like, what are they all pointing at? What are they
Yeah.
all working to resolve? And then it's like you're backing up, getting a bigger picture.
Yeah.
That is so much creativity, where most people call creativity is I open the can and I pull one thing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay, let's talk about creativity now. All right, there. Oh, this is what I got. It's like, oh, that's creativity. I mean, yeah, in one way it
Yeah.
is.
Sorta.
In one way it is. It's like, oh, well, let's be creative here in 10 minutes and let's solve this
Right.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is the structure of creativity?
It's a way of life, actually.
Mm, mm,
It's
Using one's imagination.
it's a state of being.
mm. Most people don't have it in a job.
Yeah.
And it can't be like creativity. I mean, I know it is, but it's not encouraged in today's workforce that way, even though it's in demand right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't know what it looks like.
No. No. They don't have a clue what they're asking for.
Not at all. It's like, oh, and so in that is a whole new way to be created.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it all starts with, what do you want?
Yeah.
The intention. Where are we going?
Well, you know, that's the story of my professional life.
Hmm.
I mean, I've been hired over and over again to be creative. And then when the creativity showed up, it, it got rejected.
Mhm.
It didn't recognize it or didn't wanna hear it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or didn't have the courage to even try it, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And
Do you want
I always
creativity
thought that,
inside the rules or outside the rules?
well, that there you go, right there, right? And you know, I always thought, so this is a good thing, like reflecting back on those experiences now and reframing them. What I realize now is it wasn't, like, it felt at the time like it was personal, like it was me
Yep.
that was being rejected, but it wasn't. It was the creativity that was being rejected because people wanted it, but they weren't ready for it.
Oh boy.
Or thought it
what's
was
the
something else.
And what's the automatic response to that?
Yeah, kill the messenger.
Exactly. It's a no, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because why is it a no? Because it isn't what I was looking for, yet you hired them to be creative.
Right. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
wait for a second. Like,
yeah, think about that.
how does that work?
And how do I sabotage it, right?
Yeah, right. I'm asking you to do this, and then I'm gonna say, no, that's not good enough. It's like,
It's the same with the children. They tell us to be intuitive, but when they are labeled ADD, you need medication.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't need that many intuitive people. We need a lot of hands that can work.
right. Well, we did.
Yeah.
We used to. When there was the assembly line. We used to. We don't need that anymore. Yet that doesn't mean our philosophy, our standards, are what we're looking for changed.
Nope.
You know, we're always generations behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, until this one. This is the generation where we're catching up. I'm serious.
Yeah. But and everything's going so much faster than it ever has before.
Yeah.
So it's like when we look at it, it's like, yeah, generations. Yeah,
But it's still not visible.
that's right.
You know, that's the difference. Those of us with foresight can actually see it. And if you don't have it, you don't have foresight, you can't.
Well, it becomes common if everyone had it.
True. Yes. Yeah.
It's like that's how change happens, right? Is you got to have the few that are out in front leading it, yeah, and it's all in different domains in different ways, and you have the big majority behind you fighting it, but when they turn and roll over and everyone comes on board, then it becomes common.
Yeah.
So we are common just in 200 years.
Yeah.
Ahead of the curve.
Maybe quicker. You know, it might likely it's going to be quicker. You know, nowadays.
Yeah. There's momentum gaining already,
which will then bypass anything that we could ever do.
Of course. Yeah. Or bypass anything that we could pre-plan.
That's right.
Or engineer.
Yeah.
The crows are there.
They are. He flew right next to me here. That was pretty cool. Big bird.
Well, guys, it's almost 6:30, so I'm going to hit in for breakfast, but I can keep the conversation going, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm complete.
Me too. It's been a really expensive day today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting, you know, the fog just rolled in, and I can still see Venus and the moon up there in the eastern skies. So really cool this morning.
Enjoy your breakfast. Have a great day, Craig. Heinz, have a great afternoon, evening. We'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love and hugs, everybody.
Bye.